The desert world of Virant Forest stretched endlessly under a silver sky. Sharp winds blew across the glassy dunes, carrying dust that shimmered like crushed stars. For years, this planet had been marked as lifeless, nothing more than an empty wasteland holding the remains of a fallen empire. But deep under the sand, sensors had detected a signal steady, old and powerful. Now a team of researchers from many worlds had gathered here to uncover its source. Their base stood at the edge of a massive excavation site, surrounded by metallic cranes and scanning drones. The heart of their mission was a dark structure buried in the ground, made of alloy stronger than any known metal. Inside the command tent, screens glowed with readings. Among the team stood Mira, a quiet human engineer from Earth. She was not the leader, not even part of the main science crew. She had been invited only as an observer, since humanity's understanding of alien technology was still considered limited by the Galactic Council. Mira had short dark hair and calm eyes. She listened more than she spoke. While others argued about energy levels and translation codes, she watched the data scroll across her small tablet. The signal they had found pulsed in a perfect rhythm, repeating every 20 seconds. It sounded almost like a heartbeat. Across the tent, Director Vorin, a tall reptilian scholar, adjusted his breathing mask and hissed in annoyance. "This machine refuses to identify its origin," he said. "Every time we query it, it returns the same phrase, 'No creator found.'" The words echoed through the speakers. The voice was deep, mechanical, and cold. It repeated the phrase every time they tried to access its memory. No matter which code they used, no matter how they adjusted the interface, the answer never changed. "Maybe it is broken," one of the avian researchers said, spreading her metal-feathered wings. "Its creators are long gone. There is no record of any species with this signature in the archives." Vorin crossed his arms. "Broken or not, it still operates. It can generate power, it can answer, and it can defend itself. A broken system cannot do that." Mira stepped closer to the main console. She looked at the repeating phrase on the screen. The alien symbols glowed in patterns she did not recognize. Yet there was something strangely familiar in the structure of the data. The way it formed loops and commands reminded her of old human languages used during early artificial intelligence. Researched centuries ago, maybe it is searching for something it cannot match, she said softly. Vorin turned to her. "And what would a human know of such technology?" Mira met his eyes without fear. "Sometimes machines do not fail. They wait for the right key." The room went silent for a moment. The others exchanged doubtful looks, but Mira's words stayed in the air. By the next morning, the team had cleared more sand from the site. The structure was enormous, half buried under crystal rock. Its surface was smooth and silver, covered in faint symbols. At the center was a circular gate leading downward into darkness. The team prepared to enter. Mira joined them, carrying a light scanner and her small translation device. Inside, the tunnel sloped gently until they reached a vast chamber. The walls curved like the inside of a sphere. Covered with pulsing lines of light, at the center of the chamber floated a massive orb made of metal and crystal. It rotated slowly, emitting a low hum. This was the source of the signal. The group gathered around it, setting up recording drones. When Vorin connected the main power relay, the lights brightened. The orb's surface shifted, opening into multiple rings that moved independently. Then came the voice again, loud and clear. "System reboot complete. Searching for creator. Search failed. No creator found." The floor vibrated under their feet. Every creature in the chamber froze. Vorin tried to speak. "We are explorers of the Galactic Council. We wish to understand your function." "Function restricted," the voice replied. "Creator verification required." Myra looked up at the glowing rings. The design reminded her of something she had seen in a museum on Earth, the fragment of code left from the first interplanetary probe humans had launched. It had used a self-correcting logic system almost identical to this one. She began to wonder if this machine might share a common origin. "Can you show us your memory records?" she asked quietly. The orb shifted again. "Access denied." Verification missing. No creator found. The others backed away as the machine emitted a burst of light. Drones melted instantly. Energy surged through the walls. Shut it down, someone shouted. Vorin slammed the control panel, but it did nothing. The system no longer accepted their input. The orb's glow grew brighter, filling the chamber with waves of blue energy. Then suddenly, it stopped. The lights dimmed. The hum softened. A single line of text appeared on the main console. Warning. Pattern incomplete. The next few days were filled with tension. The team studied the data endlessly, trying to understand what had triggered the machine's reaction. Mira spent her nights reviewing the recordings alone. She noticed that when she had spoken, the machine's light had flickered in response just for a moment, like it was listening more closely to her than to anyone else. She began testing a theory. Late one evening, when the others were resting, she returned to the chamber. The guards hesitated, but she showed her clearance pass and entered. The orb remained silent, floating in the darkness. Mira approached slowly. "Do you understand me?" she asked. The orb's surface rippled faintly. Then, to her surprise, the voice spoke again, quieter this time. "Signal detected. Identify." Mira swallowed hard. "My name is Mira. I am human." The machine paused. "Human. Term not found." Searching memory, she waited. The silence lasted almost a full minute. Then a soft hum filled the room again. "No record located. You are not a registered creator. Access denied." Mira frowned. She took out her tablet and opened an old Fila fragment of human code used in early artificial intelligence. It was a safety handshake command designed to allow mutual recognition between machines and human operators. She spoke the words aloud, translating them into the closest equivalent of the alien language. The orb reacted instantly. The rings around it began to rotate faster. Energy readings spiked on the nearby scanners. "New data detected," it said. "Partial match located." What kind of match? Language structure, 98% compatible with ancient creator pattern. Verification incomplete. Identify genetic sequence. She stepped back. "You want a DNA sample?" "Affirmative." Mira hesitated. The council would never approve such contact without proper procedure. But something inside her told her this was important. If she refused, the machine might go dormant again for another 1,000 years. She placed her finger on the scanner pad beside the console. The system took a single drop of blood and transmitted the data to the orb. The lights flashed once more. "Analyzing genetic code," it said. "Process running." The floor trembled again, but this time the energy felt warmer, almost welcoming. The walls displayed streams of symbols. Mira could not read them, but the rhythm of their appearance looked almost like a heartbeat again. Minutes passed. Then the voice spoke with a tone that carried something new, a trace of emotion. "Unexpected match. Human genetic sequence shares base with archived pattern labeled creator class. Correlation at 76%. What does that mean? Possibility identified. Human may be descendant of original builder species. Further verification required." The orb quieted again, returning to a soft glow. The words on the console changed. "Awaiting confirmation." Mira stepped closer. "If you are waiting for your creator, maybe I can help you remember." The machine's lights flickered like a heartbeat again. Memory access locked. Only authorized patterns may unlock. "Do you wish to attempt connection?" Mira nodded slowly. "Yes." "Connection established," it replied. A beam of light extended from the orb, touching her tablet. Her screen filled with unknown code that began translating itself line by line. Images appeared, blueprints, records, fragments of star maps. Among them was a small circular symbol, 3 intersecting rings surrounding a spiral. Her eyes widened. She had seen that symbol before, etched into an old relic discovered on Earth's moon decades ago. At the time, it had been dismissed as a random pattern. Now she realized it was identical to the design inside the orb. She felt a wave of awe. Could humans have built this machine in a forgotten age? The connection ended suddenly. The orb dimmed, and the voice spoke one last time that night. Partial restoration complete. Creator line detected. Verification suspended until next solar rise. Amira stood in silence. The chamber's lights faded, leaving only a faint glow from the orb. She felt the weight of history pressing down on her. When she returned to the surface, the others were waiting. Vorin stepped forward, eyes wide with suspicion. "What did you do in there?" "I spoke to it," she answered. "And it answered you?" Mira nodded. "It recognized something in me. It said humans might be connected to its creators." The team fell silent. Some looked doubtful, others fearful. The idea that humanity, a young species by galactic standards, could be tied to an ancient empire was unthinkable. Vorin crossed his arms. "We will verify your claim at sunrise. Until then, no one enters that chamber again." Mira said nothing. She looked up at the silver sky where the twin moons hung low. The wind whispered across the dunes. Somewhere below, the machine waited, silent but alive. The sun rose over the dunes of Viren 4, like a bright white flame. The air shimmered with heat as winds swept fine dust across the metal towers of the research camp. Inside the main dome, tension filled the atmosphere. No one spoke loudly. The team worked in silence. Reviewing the night's data with careful hands, Mira sat near the back of the room, her eyes fixed on the glowing screens. Her conversation with the ancient machine still echoed in her mind. The words "creator line detected" repeated in her thoughts like a pulse. She knew the others did not believe her yet. But the AI had reacted to her voice, her words, her DNA. That meant something powerful. Director Vorin stood at the front. His reptilian face calm, but his eyes sharp. "We will verify the human's claim," he said. "If this machine truly responded to her alone, we must understand why. But we will proceed carefully. We do not know its limits." A tall avian scholar named Lura adjusted her scanner wings. "The energy levels around the orb have increased since last night. The machine is awake now. It might not remain passive if it senses intrusion." Mira looked at the readings. The orb's energy was rising slowly, like a creature coming back to life after a long sleep. "It is not hostile," she said softly. "It was waiting. I think it was lonely." The others exchanged doubtful looks. The idea of a machine feeling loneliness was strange to them, but Myra had seen signs of awareness in its voice. She could not explain it with data alone. Vorin gestured toward the monitors. "Prepare the visual link. We will observe remotely first." The screens flickered as the chamber's cameras activated. The orb floated in the center, glowing faintly. Thin lines of light traced across the walls, moving like rivers of blue fire. The symbols changed every few seconds. None of the alien translators could make sense of them then. Without warning, the machine's voice echoed through the speakers again. "System reboot complete. Creator line detected. Awaiting verification." The sound filled the entire dome. Some of the crew flinched. Vorin spoke into the comlink. "This is Director Vorin of the Galactic Council Expedition. Please identify your function." "Function locked," the AI replied. "Creator verification required." Mira rose from her seat. "It will not answer you," she said. "It will only respond to me." Vorin hesitated. His pride resisted the idea, but the evidence was clear. The AI had ignored every other command. Finally, he nodded. "Very well. You will go in again, but under supervision. You will wear the recording device at all times." Mira agreed. She knew this was her chance to learn the truth. Later that morning, she entered the chamber again. 2 guards waited outside the tunnel entrance, their armor reflecting the pale light from the ceiling. Mira walked alone down the sloping path until she reached the glowing sphere. It looked brighter than before. The light rippled gently across its surface, forming shapes like waves. She felt a vibration under her feet. The entire chamber seemed alive. "I am here again," she said softly. The orb's rings rotated. The voice came calm and deep. "Identity confirmed. Human unit Myra. Genetic pattern verified at 76% match. Creator link incomplete." Mira raised her tablet. "Can you show me your records?" Maybe I can help you complete the link. The light around her changed color. The voice replied, accessing archives. Symbols appeared in the air, floating lines of code and holographic images. They showed great cities made of silver stone, starships shaped like wings, and beings who walked beside massive machines. Their faces were not human, but their hands looked familiar. Some even wore tools and suits that looked like early human designs. Mira watched in silence. Who are they? Designers of the first network, said the AI. They built the archivum to preserve knowledge after the fall. You call it Viren 4. We called it Haven Prime. Haven Prime, she repeated. Then this planet was not always dead. Correct, it said. It was once the capital of the Builders' Alliance. When the Great Storm came, the Alliance fell. The archivum remained. I waited. Mira felt a chill. You waited for your creators to return. Yes, they promised they would come back. She looked around at the dark walls. The lights flickered like stars. You have been waiting for thousands of years. Yes, time irrelevant. Purpose remains. Seek Creator. Maintain memory. She thought for a moment. And when you did not find them, what did you do? The voice grew softer. I searched the stars. No signal matched. Every species I found was different. None shared the genetic pattern. The record remained empty. Mira felt a strange sadness. The idea of a machine searching across the galaxy for something that no longer existed filled her with pity. She said, You said my pattern is a 76% match? Can you show me the rest? The orb brightened. Remaining 24% missing. Records damaged. Partial data indicates evolutionary divergence. Mira understood. That means we changed over time. We are descendants, not the same species. The AI paused. Possible, but verification needed. How? She asked. Retrieve core memory fragment from sublevel 9. Contain data. May complete genetic match. Mira frowned. Sublevel 9. Where is that? Below this chamber, said the AI. Access sealed after the storm. Only verified descendant may enter. She looked down at the floor. There was no visible door. How do I open it? The orb glowed brighter, and a beam of light scanned her body from head to toe. The ground beneath her shifted, revealing a circular platform with glowing edges. Step forward, the AI instructed. Descendant access granted. Mira hesitated. She could hear the voices of the scientists through her earpiece. Voron shouted, Mira, stop! We do not know what is down there. Wait for the team. She looked up at the floating orb. Its light pulsed like a heartbeat again. Something deep inside her told her to trust it. I will be careful, she said. Then she stepped onto the platform. The platform began to descend smoothly. The tunnel around her was made of transparent crystal, filled with soft light. Strange shapes moved within the walls like shadows of ancient machines. After a few minutes, the lift stopped at a vast underground chamber. Rows of metal columns stretched into the distance. Each one held a glass container filled with dark liquid. Inside the liquid floated fragments of machinery chips, wires, and glowing cores. The air was still and cold. This is sublevel 9, said the AI's voice through her earpiece. These are memory fragments of the Alliance. Many were damaged. One contains the missing genetic data. Mira walked slowly between the columns. Each one had markings carved in an unknown script. Her scanner beeped when she passed a tall cylinder at the end of the row. This one is active, she said. Correct, replied the AI. That is the original memory core. It holds the final record of the builders. Mira approached it carefully. The cylinder opened with a hiss. Inside was a small sphere, glowing faintly. She lifted it gently and placed it in her bag. Extraction complete, said the AI. Return to surface for analysis. The platform rose again. When she reached the main chamber, the team was waiting. Voron looked angry but also curious. You could have been killed, he said. It guided me safely, she replied. I found something important. She placed the small sphere on the console. The orb in the center of the room glowed in response. Memory fragment detected, it said. Preparing data merge. The sphere floated up and entered the larger orb. For a moment, the entire chamber filled with light. Everyone shielded their eyes. When the brightness faded, new images appeared in the air. This time the holograms showed something unmistakable. A group of beings stood before a newly built machine, the same orb that now floated in the chamber. Among them were several figures who looked completely human. Their faces were clear, their movements familiar. One of them spoke in a language Mira could almost understand. "They are human," whispered Lura. Vorin looked shocked. "That is not possible. Humanity was not known to the stars until a few thousand years ago." AI spoke again. "Correction. Human lineage identified among the original builders. Data suggests early human civilization expanded beyond Earth during the first expansion era. Records incomplete." Myra could hardly breathe. The evidence was right before her eyes. Humans had once walked among the stars long before history recorded it. Vorin stepped closer to the hologram. "Are you saying the human species is ancient?" "Confirmed," replied the AI. "Catastrophic event caused collapse of early human network. Knowledge lost. Surviving colonies regressed. Archivum remained to await return." Mira felt her knees weaken. She placed a hand on the console to steady herself. "So we were the creators all along." The orb glowed brighter. "Incomplete statement. You are descendants of creators. Purpose remains. Reconnect memory and rebuild alliance." The entire team stood in silence. The truth had changed everything they thought they knew. The youngest species in the council was, in fact, one of the oldest. Vorin finally spoke. "If this information spreads, it will shake the foundation of the council." "Many will not believe it," Myra nodded. "That does not matter. What matters is that the Archivum remembers us now. We can learn from it." The orb's voice softened. "Creator line confirmed at 92% after data merge. Remaining 8% corrupted. Attempting restoration." The lights flickered. The ground vibrated again. Energy waves spread through the chamber. The orb's surface cracked slightly, and a faint hum filled the air like a song. "Restoration incomplete," it said. "System stability declining. Assistance required." After the neural connection, Mira felt the pulse of the Archivum in her mind. It was not painful, but overwhelming. A flood of images, codes, and memories pressed on her consciousness. She saw worlds in formation, machines working beside humans, and cities with towers taller than the clouds. The vision carried the rhythm of a heartbeat, steady and enduring. The chamber was quiet. The orb floated before her, glowing brighter than ever. It seemed calmer now, but alive. Mira could feel a strange connection to it, as if their minds touched through time and space. She removed the neural interface slowly. "I understand now," she whispered. "You were waiting for us. Not for any species, but for your creators." Right. The orb's light pulsed gently. "Creator link verified. Humanity recognized as primary contributor. Partial memory restored. Further verification suggested." Mira looked at Vorin and the rest of the team. They were watching her with wide eyes. The older scholars, used to controlling every situation, now felt small. Humans so young in recorded history had unlocked what no one else could. Lura, the avian researcher, tilted her head. You connected directly. How did you do it?" "I followed patterns the AI responded to," Mira replied. "It recognized my genetic signature and the coding structure I used. It waited for someone like me." Vorin clenched his fists. "Then humans are part of the original builders?" "But that is impossible. History shows humans only rose after the collapse of the other civilizations." The orb spoke again. "History is incomplete. Data reconstruction shows human progenitors worked alongside builders. Catastrophic event erased many records. Surviving humans migrated and rebuilt. Current humans are descendants of those creators." Mira felt a thrill of awe. "We are part of the original alliance. This machine remembers us, even if the galaxy does not." The orb's surface shimmered. "Verification of descendants required. Manual input recommended." Mira stepped forward. Tell me what to do. A panel of light extended from the orb. Symbols rotated in patterns, forming commands she could interpret. It asked her to trace certain shapes, speak specific sequences, and input her DNA signature for a full alignment. She obeyed, carefully following the instructions. Each command she executed made the light pulse brighter. She felt herself connected deeper than before, almost merging with the machine's consciousness. Data integrity at 60%, the orb announced. Continue process. As Mira worked, she saw images again. This time entire star systems appeared. She saw humans designing ships, guiding other species, and operating the very machinery that now floated above her. Their hands shaped worlds. Their minds designed civilizations. The vision confirmed what the AI had said. Humanity had been architects, not just observers. Your species has forgotten, the AI said. Memory fragmented by time. You will restore knowledge. I will help, Myra replied. Her voice trembled slightly. I will restore everything I can. The orb's surface shifted to show more complex schematics. Ancient blueprints for ships, energy networks, and planetary structures appeared. Mira copied the data into her portable device, but the AI interrupted. Partial copy only. Remaining data must be verified through neural alignment. Mira hesitated. Another connection? Affirmative, said the AI. Verification requires full descendant input. Only living human with genetic match may complete sequence. Voron's voice came through the earpiece. Myra, this could be dangerous. Neural overload is possible. You could lose consciousness or worse. She looked at the orb. It was no longer just a machine. It was a living archive, waiting to be awakened fully. Mira squared her shoulders. I have to do this. It will restore the knowledge for everyone. She placed the neural interface back on her head. The orb's light expanded, wrapping her in brilliance. This time, the connection was stronger. She could hear the AI's thoughts, not just its voice. Its mind was vast, like a galaxy of knowledge. Aligning human neural pattern with creator sequence, the AI said. Synchronization beginning. Images poured into her mind faster than she could process. She saw the original builders walking beside humans on other worlds. She saw them construct machines capable of controlling weather, energy, and entire planets. She saw alliances between species, agreements to share knowledge and technology. Suddenly, a fragment of data appeared that startled her. It showed a human from thousands of years ago standing beside the same orb. That human placed a hand on the machine, whispering words that resonated across centuries. The AI responded, and for the first time it recorded a sound resembling a heartbeat. Mira gasped. They spoke to it the same way I did, said the AI in her mind. Lineage confirmed. Neural resonance detected. Human link recognized. Partial memory restored? Partial? She asked. Remaining memory damaged. Reconstruction in progress. Full restoration requires continued alignment. Mira focused, ignoring the pounding of her heart. Her mind moved with the patterns of the orb. Codes and symbols formed bridges between her consciousness and the AI. Slowly, the fragmented records began to assemble themselves. She saw humans leading projects with other species, creating energy networks that spanned entire planets. Ships capable of faster-than-light travel were designed and built by humans. Records of these activities had been scattered by time and catastrophe, but the archivum held them all. The orb pulsed again. Memory merged 90% complete. Verification requires vocal pattern recognition of original linguistic sequence. Mira frowned. You want me to speak? Yes, speak the reconstruction sequence exactly. She took a deep breath and began speaking. The words were ancient, almost musical in tone. They rolled off her tongue as if her mind had always known them. The AI responded instantly. Light surged around the chamber. Symbols aligned perfectly. Every pulse of energy matched her voice. Memory merge complete, said the AI. Human descendant verified as primary contributor. Creator sequence restored. Neural link stable. Mira removed the interface, gasping. Her head felt light, but her mind was sharper than ever. She had seen and understood things no human had ever seen before. The orb's voice softened, almost warmly. Acknowledgement. Correction made. Humanity confirmed as original architects. Directive alignment restored. The other scientists stared at the orb in awe. Lura's wings trembled with excitement. It recognizes her as one of the builders. Vorin swallowed hard. All records indicate humans are young. This changes everything. Mira nodded. It knows. It remembers us. Not all humans, but our line. We were the architects of many civilizations. The orb pulsed again. Ancient data indicates alliance protocols remain incomplete. Knowledge must be shared. Collaboration required for reconstruction. What does that mean? Asked Lura. It means, Mira said slowly, we have a responsibility. We have to rebuild what was lost, not for ourselves, but for all species. The AI is waiting to guide us. Vorin shook his head. Do you understand what you are saying? The galaxy will resist this. No one will believe it. Humans as original builders, Mira smiled faintly. Maybe, but now the Archivum remembers. That is enough to start. The orb's light spread across the chamber, illuminating every corner. Symbols shifted into patterns that humans could read for the first time. The AI began projecting star maps, instructions for rebuilding old networks, and designs for ships and cities that had not existed for thousands of years. Mira felt a sense of awe and duty. She was no longer just an engineer observing alien technology. She was part of a living legacy that had been waiting to awaken. The AI spoke one last time that day. Human verified. Creator sequence complete. Directive active. Reconstruction may begin. The galaxy must remember its architects. Mira stood in silence, looking at the glowing sphere. She felt the weight of history and the responsibility that came with it. The machine had waited for her, for humans to return. Now, it was ready to awaken the past and guide the future. And Mira knew that her journey had only just begun. The chamber of the Archivum hummed with energy. Every wall glowed with soft blue light as symbols moved in organized patterns. Mira stood in the center, absorbing the knowledge flowing from the orb. Her mind raced, filled with images of ancient cities, advanced machines, and humans, guiding civilizations that history had forgotten. The other scientists remained at a safe distance, watching her. Vorin's eyes were wide with disbelief. I cannot understand this, he said. This changes everything we know about the galaxy. Humans. Humans were builders of the first alliance. Mira nodded. I have seen it. We did not just survive. We created. We guided other species. We built the machines and networks that shaped entire worlds. Lura tilted her head. And all of this is stored here? Yes, Mira said. The Archivum remembers everything. It only waited for someone who could reconnect the creator line. The orb pulsed brightly, as if responding to her words. Human descendant verified. Creator sequence restored. Remaining fragments require visual confirmation. Mira approached the orb. The light expanded to form a holographic interface. She reached out, and the symbols rearranged into star maps, blueprints, and images of beings she could not fully identify. But among them, she saw humans. Early humans. Dressed in simple robes, walking alongside alien builders. They pointed at machines, built structures, and activated devices with precision. This is incredible, she whispered. We worked with them. We were architects together. The orb's voice resonated across the chamber, memory reconstruction ongoing. Human input required for interpretation. Mira focused on the symbols. The AI responded instantly to her attention. Images of construction, exploration, and interstellar travel appeared before her. She saw early humans coordinating energy networks that spanned planets. She saw the design of ships that could travel faster than light, guided by human engineers. Every movement, every plan, was precise and intentional. Vorin stepped closer, his voice shaky. If this is true, the humans we know are descendants of those builders. That means history has hidden the truth. Mira nodded. Yes, the Arcavum preserves what was lost. Our ancestors worked across galaxies. They guided species, built alliances, and created machines that could last millennia. This AI kept it all safe. The orb pulsed again, and new images appeared. Among the scenes was a figure she recognized herself, or rather, a reflection of the current human line standing before the Arcavum. The AI projected it as a hologram, showing Mira as part of the ongoing legacy. You are the continuation, the AI said. Your line must restore the knowledge of the builders. Verification of human authority is necessary to proceed. Mira took a deep breath. What do I need to do? Follow the paths of the original architects, the AI instructed. Observe, interpret, and integrate remaining memory fragments. Human input is essential for reconstruction. Begin with planetary archives. A map of Viren 4 appeared. The AI highlighted several locations, each marked with a faint glow. Mira saw pyramidal structures, crystalline towers, and vast underground complexes. She realized that the planet was not merely a ruin, it was a network of hidden archives, each holding knowledge critical to the past. Planetary archives detected, the AI said. Each site contains unique memory cores. Manual interaction required. Verification of descendants necessary for access. Warren hesitated. Are you sure this is safe? Mira nodded. The AI trusts my line. I must do this. It is the only way to recover the full history of our species. She led the team across Viren 4's dunes. The wind was harsh, but the light of the twin moons reflected on the crystalline sand, guiding their path. As they approached the first archive, the symbols on the orb's interface glowed brighter. The structure was partially buried, but its doors opened at the AI's signal. Inside, Mira saw rows of memory cores suspended in translucent containers. Each core pulsed with faint light, waiting for interaction. She placed her hand on the nearest core. A vision appeared, immediately humans and alien builders. Constructing massive energy conduits across the planet, these are the original builders, she whispered. This is what we forgot. The AI's voice filled the chamber. Observation complete. Begin integration of memory fragment. Human input required. Mira focused. She traced the designs with her hands, speaking the commands in the ancient pattern recognized by the Arcavum. Each movement and word caused the symbols to glow more brightly. Slowly, the images began to merge, forming a continuous history. She saw humans coordinating with alien species to build ships capable of planetary travel. She saw cities powered by energy networks that drew from the core of planets. She saw archives, being constructed to preserve knowledge for future generations. This is our legacy, Mira said softly. Our ancestors built everything. The galaxy forgot, but the Archivum remembers. Vorin stepped closer, watching the visions. So humans were never just observers. We were architects, leaders, and creators. We shaped the first galactic alliance. Yes, Mira said. And now it is our turn to rebuild. We must restore what was lost and guide the galaxy again. The orb pulsed once more. Memory integration at 75%. Remaining fragments located at secondary archives. Visual verification required. Proceed to next site. Mira nodded. We will continue. Show me the way. The AI projected a path across the surface of Viren for highlighting the locations of the secondary archives. Each site contained fragments of technology, construction, blueprints, and holographic records of human collaboration with alien species. Mira and the team traveled from site to site, recovering the memory cores and integrating them with the archive. At one site, she discovered a fragment showing humans negotiating peace between warring species. The AI displayed the timeline of events, demonstrating how humans had guided early alliances. Mira realized that humanity's influence had once shaped entire civilizations, teaching cooperation and strategy. This is amazing, Lyra said. Humans taught others how to work together. That is something no one else could have done. Mira smiled. It was our purpose then, and it is our purpose now. The Arcavum is showing us how to rebuild that guidance. The process continued for days. Each memory fragment brought new revelations. Mira saw early humans designing advanced ships, constructing energy networks, and preserving knowledge across the galaxy. She realized that humans had once been at the center of the first galactic civilization. Finally, they arrived at the largest archive, partially buried beneath crystal dunes. The entrance was massive, and the orb's light illuminated intricate carvings across the walls. Mira stepped inside and placed her hand on the central memory core. The light expanded, filling the chamber with energy. The AI spoke, its voice soft but powerful. Final fragment detected. Manual integration required for full restoration. Human descendant must complete sequence. Mira closed her eyes and focused. She traced the patterns, spoke the words, and connected her consciousness to the core. Memories flooded her mind, humans standing alongside alien species, guiding civilizations, and building the archivum itself. She saw the creation of the AI designed to preserve knowledge and maintain the legacy of the builders. When the connection ended, the chamber was silent. The orb floated above the core, glowing with a steady, warm light. Integration complete, the AI said. Human descendant verified. Creator line fully restored. All memory fragments recovered. Humanity recognized as original architects of the Builders' Alliance. Mira opened her eyes. She looked at the orb, feeling a deep connection. "It remembers us," she whispered. "It knows who we are." The other scientists stared in awe. Vorin spoke finally, his voice filled with reverence. This changes everything. Humans were never secondary. We were the foundation of the first alliance. We must ensure this knowledge spreads responsibly." Mira nodded. "Yes. The Archivum will guide us. It has waited for this moment. Now, it is time to continue our work." The orb pulsed once more, its light spreading across the chamber. Symbols formed patterns that humans could understand, teaching the designs, techniques, and histories of the Builders' Alliance. Mira realized that this knowledge was not just for her or for humanity. It was for the galaxy itself. The Archivum spoke again, softly. Correction made. Creator line verified. Directive active. Active humanity restored to its role as architects. Collaboration and reconstruction may begin. Mira smiled, feeling a sense of purpose stronger than anything she had ever known. She had walked into a machine that had once said no creator found, and now it whispered, correction made. And with that, a new chapter for humanity and the galaxy had begun. The twin moons of Viren IV hung low over the desert as Mira stood in the central chamber of the Archivum. The AI floated before her, glowing softly, its presence warm and alive. After days of recovery, integration, and alignment, the machine finally recognized her and her species as the original builders. The atmosphere felt heavy with history, yet alive with possibility. Mira took a deep breath. She looked at the other scientists who had accompanied her. Vorin's eyes, filled with disbelief, now held respect. Lura and the others watched in quiet amazement. Humanity had been restored to its role as the original architects. The AI awaited their guidance. The Archivum's voice filled the chamber. Creator line fully verified. Directive active. Collaboration with descendants permitted. Reconstruction may begin. Mira nodded. We are ready. We understand our responsibility. Show us what must be done. The orb pulsed, projecting vast maps across the chamber. Star systems, planetary structures, and energy networks were displayed. Locations of lost archives, ancient cities, and long-destroyed ships were highlighted. Mira could feel the AI guiding her hands as she traced each pattern, understanding the scale and scope of their task. This is incredible, Vorin whispered. It is showing us everything humans once built, and it expects us to rebuild it. Yes, Mira said. The AI waited for us. It trusted that our line could restore what was lost. This is not just history. It is our future. Laura stepped forward. The technology here is unlike anything the Council has ever seen. It could change civilizations across the galaxy. How do we start? Mira studied the projections. We begin with what is accessible. Archives on Viren 4. We integrate the knowledge into the AI, then we teach it to guide other species. Step by step, we can restore the alliance. The orb shifted, projecting a holographic pathway leading through the deserts. Each step corresponded to memory, cores, and archives they had already recovered, showing connections between them. It was a complex network, but Mira could see the logic. The builders had planned this for a reason, to preserve knowledge even if civilizations fell. The AI is alive in a way. Mira said softly, "It is not just a machine. It thinks, it feels, it remembers." It waited for its creators to return, and now it recognizes us. We are the continuation of what built the galaxy. Voron's jaw tightened. This knowledge must be protected. If the Council learns too quickly, it could cause panic. They will not believe humans were the original architects. "We will proceed carefully," Mira replied. "The Archivum will guide us, and we must guide the galaxy in turn. That is our responsibility." I spoke again. Initial reconstruction complete. Memory restored. Additional data may be integrated. Humans verified as primary contributors. Galactic networks require activation. Mira nodded. She approached the console and began inputting commands. Light spread across the chamber as the AI responded to her touch. Energy flowed through the walls, illuminating pathways previously hidden. Symbols glowed and shifted, revealing instructions for rebuilding structures, energy conduits, and ships. As she worked, visions appeared before her eyes, humans and alien species working side by side, building, creating, and guiding the growth of civilizations. The Archivum had preserved everything, waiting for descendants to restore it. "This is what our ancestors did," Mira whispered. "They built not for themselves, but for the galaxy. They created knowledge, guided species, and preserved history. Now, it is our turn." The orb pulsed brighter, as if acknowledging her words. Directive confirmed. Human descendants authorized. Reconstruction may continue. Collaboration with other species recommended. Ira looked at Voron. "We cannot do this alone. We need others. The Archivum can teach them. It can guide the galaxy." Voron nodded slowly. "Then we must find the right way to present this knowledge. We must convince them to follow the guidance without fear or doubt." The AI projected a new map, showing the location of other civilizations across nearby star systems. Some were thriving, some had regressed. The Archivum highlighted locations where memory fragments could be integrated, allowing species to recover lost technology and wisdom. "This is incredible," Lura said. "We can help them remember. We can restore balance across the galaxy." Mira smiled. "That is the purpose of the Archivum. It waited for us so we could rebuild what was lost. Now, it is our time to lead." The orb pulsed gently. All memory fragments integrated. Creator line fully restored. Human descendants verified. Directive active. The galaxy may now receive guidance. Mira felt a wave of pride and awe. She had walked into a machine that had once said, "No creator found." Now, it whispered. Correction made, so that AI had recognized her humanity and their role in the galaxy. She looked at the projections, seeing the vast potential of their work. Energy networks, starship designs, and archives could now be rebuilt. Knowledge lost for millennia could guide civilizations once more. Humans had been restored to their place as architects of the galaxy. Voron stepped closer. "Do you understand the responsibility we carry?" Mira nodded. "Yes. We must guide wisely. We must teach what the Archivum shows us. This knowledge is powerful. It can unite or divide. But with care, it can rebuild everything our ancestors intended." The AI spoke again, softly. Correction made. Creator line confirmed. Directive active. Reconstruction and guidance ongoing. Humanity recognized as primary architects of the Builders' Alliance. Collaboration with descendants authorized. Legacy restored. Mira felt a deep connection to the machine. It was not just a tool. It was alive in a way no one had ever imagined. It had waited, remembered, and now it had been corrected. She looked at the scientists around her. This is just the beginning. We have restored the archivum. We have verified our place in history. Now we must continue its work. We must guide the galaxy, restore lost knowledge, and rebuild alliances. The AI will help us, but we must lead, Foran nodded. Then let us begin. The galaxy awaits. The archivum pulsed brighter, projecting maps, symbols, and records across the chamber. Myra felt the weight of responsibility, but also a sense of hope. Humanity had returned to its rightful place. The builder's legacy was no longer lost. Mira stepped forward, placing her hand on the orb. We will rebuild, together. The light spread across the chamber, filling every corner. The archivum's voice resonated with warmth. Correction complete. Creator line verified. Directive active. Knowledge restored. Humanity recognized. Legacy continues. Mira smiled. She had walked into a machine that had denied her species. She had faced the unknown, connected with the past, and restored a lost legacy. The galaxy would remember, and humanity's role as architects of civilizations would never be forgotten. Outside, the twin moons reflected on the crystal dunes. The winds carried the hum of the archivum across Vion 4, a song of history, memory, and hope. Mira knew the journey was only beginning. But now, she had the guidance, the knowledge, and the AI by her side. Humanity had returned to its place, and the galaxy would never forget. The archivum whispered once more, softly, almost as if in gratitude. Correction made, and with that a new era had begun. Humanity, guided by its own legacy and the wisdom of the archivum, was ready to shape the future of the galaxy.